everybody, welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Happy Tuesday evening. As we take a look at the forecast, some things have changed. We can entertain some different scenarios going into the latter part of this week and into early next week. Not a lot of certainty regarding those scenarios, but there are at least some different things to entertain. In something that we'll discuss here in the next few minutes. A check of the infrared satellite as we lose daylight on this Tuesday evening. Sun's set enough to the point where a visible satellite can't really show, so we'll take a look at the infrared. And we've kind of encountered the clouds pretty persistently through the course of the day. It actually kept daytime highs down in some spots. Thunderstorms across the Boot Heel of Missouri or near those areas across the mid-Mississippi Valley, headed toward the Paducah, Kentucky region, and then additional showers and a few thunderstorms through the Ohio Valley as you take a look at the radar. And, of course, all radar products made possible by Brown's Roofing. Check out brownsroofingla.com. Here's a look at unofficial highs for the day. Again, sunshine was a little bit more present in the southern parishes and counties where we topped out in the low to mid-80s. It was more upper 70s to right at 80 degrees, where the cloud cover was a little bit more persistent along and north of I-20. Still holding near 80 as the sun starts to set on this Tuesday across the southern parishes. Winsboro, Columbia, Winfield, Natchitoches, Alexandria, all still holding at 80, while the rest of us have fallen back into the mid to upper 70s. Dew Point's still pretty soupy out there, so I would expect shallow moisture and perhaps some river valley fog and just other areas of patchy fog to be a possibility as we head through the morning hours tomorrow. It was a breezy day, at least to start. Those winds have died down a little bit late this afternoon, and as the sun sets, I would expect those winds to continue to die down even further. If the wind stays strong enough, then obviously fog wouldn't be that big of an issue. And speaking of fog, here's what we're looking at as we go through the overnight. Again, just as the air cools and it's pretty low, a lot of shallow moisture in place, low clouds, and the occasional areas of patchy dense fog will be a possibility. And out of all the things that we have in the forecast, this is a very similar look to the forecast that what I showed you at noon in terms of graphics and information that I'm going to show you. But a lot's changed. Nothing dramatic, but we have had some tweaks here and there. The one thing that I did add to the forecast is areas of fog across southern Arkansas. I had it for northern Louisiana and western Mississippi through the overnight, but I didn't really expect it to be much of an issue in southern Arkansas. We went ahead and bumped the fog possibilities in. So if you've checked the app here in the last 5 or 10 minutes and across southern Arkansas and you see, oh, fog's in the forecast, I just threw it in there, so be aware of that. Check a futurecast as we go through the next few days. Winds continue out of the south. Could be a little bit breezy at times tomorrow, but generally expecting to stay dry. Sunshine winds over as we go through the afternoon. Could get a few storms that could spill into the region early Thursday morning, kind of the leftovers of some activity well off to our west. Not really expecting any kind of significant widespread rain, but it does kick off the rain chances. Most of it isolated to start the day. I wouldn't be surprised at some point through the daytime hours on Thursday to see more scattered potential across northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas. I think much of western Mississippi will probably stay rain-free through the day on Thursday, but scattered potential will linger in the forecast, and that's reflected in the 7-day. As we go through the nighttime hours Thursday and into Friday, you start seeing the scattered storm potential, and this is obviously as our weak front starts to approach the region, so the front provides some lift and some focus to all this warm, humid, and pretty unstable air. And I wouldn't be surprised with the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlooks for Friday for us to at least have a marginal risk of severe weather across northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas. Just the overall nature of the scattered nature of a lot of these thunderstorms as they are kind of resembled or symbolized here by a lot of these computer model runs, I just wouldn't be surprised to see at least an isolated severe potential through the daytime hours on Friday. All hazards seem to be possible, just looking at the overall makeup and the overall setup in the atmosphere. But again, there's not a lot of upper level support in our area, and so there's still some limitations in terms of what the environment can produce in that regard. Lingering storms late Friday, early Saturday, and then most of that stuff scoots out pretty quickly. Northwesterly winds are in for a good chunk of the day on Saturday. It doesn't necessarily push us drastically cooler, but it will dry us out a little bit. And then the rain chances are pretty quick back in by Sunday and Monday. Futurecast rainfall, and of course, Futurecast products made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe. And note, where we had the midday, during the midday stream, we were showing the rain totals and it had a lot of very limited rainfall. What you see here is a general uptick in rain totals, but that's also because we're seeing some storm-driven rain totals. Obviously, showers and storms will be a possibility. Where you see showers, rain's probably going to be pretty limited. Where you get the thunderstorm-driven rains, some more extreme amounts are a possibility. So don't take this as obviously set in stone, but it does kind of signify that where we see storms, obviously the downpours will be heaviest. That shouldn't be a big surprise. It's kind of common knowledge for our area. Check the rainfall forecast over the next 5 days. Again, not overly aggressive with the totals because these forecasts kind of paint with a broad brush. So they're not going to get hyper detailed and say El Dorado's going to see 1.25 inches of rain from one thunderstorm and Monroe's only going to get 1/4 inch of rain. Now they're just trying to kind of cover their bases in terms of what the most general rain totals should be expected. Obviously, storm-driven rains could bump you up to 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 2 inches in a local sense, but you can't really forecast that, and it's really tough to forecast. That's almost impossible. And so the widespread total should be in the 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch range. Julie, Gloria, and Janet, good evening. I know everybody's looking forward to some rain. We haven't had measurable rainfall yet this month, so we need some changes. I showed this also during the noontime frame, and this is a look at our upper-level winds. And again, most of our upper-level pattern is being driven by a big ridge of high pressure that's humping the jet stream across the Gulf Coast region and much of the deep south of the United States. And off to our west, we have a lot of subtropical moisture getting pumped in, but it's translating to rain and snow in the higher elevations. Good afternoon or good evening to you as well, James. So a lot of this moisture is just not making it our direction. We need that trough to move a little bit farther eastward and kind of shift the subtropical moisture that direction as well. Clearly, this map has changed from where I joined you at midday. So now you can see that mid-level disturbance, this trough right through here. That's a little bit more discernible than it was when I showed you at noon. So you can see it a little bit better, or at least I can see it a little bit better. And so as it moves through, perhaps it has a little bit more oomph to it. Maybe it provides a little bit more organized activity as we go late Friday and into Saturday. Good evening to Judy and Janet, and I'm assuming it's Mr. Steve. Maybe. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. As we go into the day Sunday, large upper-level storm system. This one right here. This is the one that we've been watching to see how it evolves as it moves into Thanksgiving week. And it looks like it's looking more and more likely that it's going to be kind of a two-piece storm system. Well, good evening, Mr. Steve. And thanks so much for hopping in. So this storm system looks to bring us an upper-level disturbance, an upper-level system through Sunday, Monday. More or less Monday, Tuesday now at this point. And if this storm system were to take this overall orientation in our atmosphere, we would probably be looking at some sort of severe weather threat Monday or Tuesday. Here's the kicker, though. It's Tuesday, and we're talking about next Tuesday, and so much is going to change between now and then. I guarantee you, if this continues tonight when the 0Z computer models come out, which comes out about 10 o'clock at night, I guarantee you'll wake up tomorrow to a bunch of people saying, severe weather in the central United States, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, severe weather outbreak possible. They're going to do all kinds of stuff. It's just that time of the year. Everybody gets a little overexcited. It's been boring in the central United States. A lot of folks mean well. They just want to give you an early heads up to active weather. But a lot of folks are just farming clicks from you, and that's all they want. They're just preying on your time and attention. So once that system kicks out Monday, Tuesday, take a look at the upper-level system behind it. Again, we're looking at trends, not specifics. So the orientation of this general pattern would signify to me that we're going to take a lot of cold blue air. That's why I did this in blue. And we're just going to kind of march it on down the jet stream. So we could be looking at a decent shot of cold air arriving the week of Thanksgiving. Can we get into a lot of specifics there? Nope. And there's no sense in trying. Scattered showers and storms will be really feeding off of a deep layer of moisture, a deep envelope of moisture that moves through Thursday, Friday. It is a brief window of opportunity to really scour out that rain before the dry air moves back in this weekend. But then early next week, we kind of reload the atmosphere with more water, and we bring that next storm system through. So you can kind of see where we're looking at kind of a 1-2 punch of rain chances. Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, with a break generally Saturday and Sunday. I do have the small rain chances in for Sunday just in case. Overnight lows tonight, mid-60s again. The clouds return. Some patchy fog will be a possibility as well. Good evening to you, Janet, and thanks so much for hopping in on the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. Winds will be out of the south tonight. Rain chances close to 0. Highs tomorrow low to mid-80s. Mix of sun and clouds, but still very warm, flirting with record highs depending on location, and winds will continue out of the south. 7-day forecast shows the distinct difference in rain chances. I've kept the 30% in for Sunday, but it would likely be late Sunday. Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. May have to trim those down. I just didn't feel comfortable messing with them right now. I was like, we'll just leave them where they are and we'll tackle them later. Best rain chances for the early short term, Thursday night, Friday morning, early Friday morning, and then another storm system Monday, Tuesday of next week. Could they bring severe weather? Possibly. Could they bring heavy rain? Possibly. Should we try to delve into those specifics right now? No. It absolutely makes no sense to try to make sense of all this stuff just yet. Hopefully I have a better idea of all this stuff tomorrow. I hope all that makes sense. To me, that just sounded like a rambling bunch of nothingness. Because, again, I just still don't have a lot of confidence in the details in the forecast. But it is something that we'll continue to talk about more over the next few days. Obviously, for those that just hopped in late, going to end the stream. So let this video kind of reformat, and you'll be able to hop through it and skip through and see what you need to see. Fishing game comes out at 8 o'clock tonight. I'll join you first thing tomorrow morning with an updated look at all of this stuff. If there's severe weather outlooks tomorrow, we'll have a look at that. Which there may be for Friday. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. How will the weather be here between here and Shreveport be tomorrow morning? Maybe foggy. I think that's the only thing you're going to run into tomorrow morning is fog, and it'll be warm and muggy and cloudy. So exercise caution if you're going to be out on the roadways. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. Again, I'll catch you first thing tomorrow morning, and we'll try to make sense out of this forecast all over again. Have a great day, everybody.